everyone, I hope you're ready to cook with me. I'm going to be making one of my simple recipes. I always look at my recipes as being really simple and easy because that's how I have to eat because of my allergies. And this is one recipe that I have made for probably 20 years. It's one of my favorite recipes to prep cook for the week. And I don't do it often enough. So today I'm going to actually do two versions of it. So in these bowls I have a dozen eggs that I've cracked. So I've got 2 dozen eggs for 2 quiches. I also have some cream, some rosemary, some broccoli, some mozzarella, some provolone, some parmesan cheese. In this bowl I have breakfast sausage, and in this bowl I have turkey breakfast sausage with red pepper sauteed in it. This is a whole pound, this is a half. This is all I had left from this week, but I'll talk about why I'm using those and doing 2 separate ones. So I've called this for years Crustless Quiche, but I think the more fancy name is Frittata. So we're going to make one a quiche and one a traditional frittata, sort of, kind of. Anyway, the first thing you want to do is to brown up all of your meats and any peppers or onions or whatever it is that you want to add. Now my basic recipe for this is a dozen eggs, about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of cream, and then it has to have some form of these elements: cheese, protein, and vegetable. Okay, I used in my turkey sausage, I used 1/2 cup of chopped red peppers, and then I sauteed them. I'm going to put in the other one a whole bag, 12 ounces of steamed broccoli. So there's different ways that you can do it. In the broccoli one, you can also do ham, you can do, what else? Ham and bacon, you know, you can do anything that you want. I'm just using the breakfast sausage because I had it left over from what I bought for groceries last week. I got these eggs at Aldi last week. They were 49 cents a dozen. So for the eggs alone, it's only $1. This is a really cheap and easy recipe that you can make. You can cut it up and you can freeze it in individual portions, or you can just leave them in the refrigerator and for a few days and grab and go breakfast or lunch or whatever. So what I've already done is I've pre-cracked the eggs because you don't want to watch me cracking 2 dozen eggs. So I'm going to go ahead and just whisk those up right now. And it doesn't have to be really, you know, major, just a little bit of a whisk on both of them. Now, the first one I'm going to make is going to be the one for my husband and my daughter. One of my daughters is dairy allergic, so I don't normally make this for her because it does need that cheese element to it. But you can leave it out if you are dairy allergic. Instead of using heavy cream, you're going to go ahead and use water equivalent. This one is for my husband and my 16-year-old because I am allergic to pork. I'm allergic to the world, but pork is one of them. And breakfast sausage is cheaper than turkey breakfast sausage. So I use this for them, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this in here. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get 1/2 cup to start of the cream. Now this is dehydrated cream. I got this, it is Anthony's brand, I believe, and all it is cream powder. It's sweet cream, and I rehydrated it with water. You can use it as a creamer in your coffee. I do caution you that it can, if you use too much, it will taste salty. So just be careful on how you're using it. It doesn't have any added salt. I don't know why it tastes salty, but if I only use a little bit, it's not too bad. So, and with all the other flavors that are going to be in here, you're not going to be able to tell. So I'm going to go ahead and use a half a cup of the cream in here. And what the cream does is it kind of adds a little fluffiness to it. And when it comes out, you'll see what I mean. Now the other thing I'm going to add in here is broccoli. And this is why I love this recipe so much. It's just a dump and go kind of thing. The last thing I'm going to add in this, well, not second to last thing I'm going to add in this recipe is a lot of salt, because I love salt, but not too much because the sausage can be a little salty. And the last thing I'm going to add in here for a different flavor is going to be fresh rubbed sage. My mother supplies me with this all the time and it makes me so happy. It's fresh from her garden, so I know that it's good and it's not got any chemicals or anything like that. So this is just the dried sage leaves, and all I did was I just took a big pinch of it and I've rubbed them into my hand to powder them, and I'm just going to toss that in there with it. A lot of breakfast sausage will be sage breakfast sausage, so you will see that. Now, as you notice, I haven't added any cheese yet, and that's okay because I've got 2 different types of cheeses to use. And I'm going to use 2 of them in this recipe and 2 of them in my recipe. So, now that we've got all that in there, the last thing I'm going to add is some Parmesan cheese. This is a 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese. I got this cheese, the wedge from Aldi. It was like $1.79, I want to say. I think all their cheese is $1.79. And I just shredded it. I used my food processor and I shredded this about 2 weeks ago, and it's still really, really good. So I'm going to use 1/3 cup of the Parmesan cheese. Do you like my measuring cups and spoons? These are R2D2. I got it as a present for Christmas from my family, and I'm really excited about using them today. This is the first time I've used them. So since this is going to be theirs, I'm going to make it in more of a traditional form. This is just a cast iron skillet, so I'm going to go ahead and dump this in there for them. And because I thought I had shredded cheddar and I didn't, and I like cheddar in this recipe too, but because I didn't, I saw what cheeses I did have. And the one cheese I did have that they love is provolone. So I'm going to go ahead and put a few provolone slices on top of this to just kind of give it a nice cheesy crust. So let me go ahead and do that. And it looks like I'm going to use about 6 slices. All right, we'll set that aside for now and we'll work on the second one. So the second one is going to be the one that I can have. And because of my allergies, again, there's certain things that I have to leave out. Can't have traditional breakfast sausage, but I did find this week turkey breakfast sausage, and I was so excited. I was cautiously nervous, but I found it, and I tried it, and I didn't have a reaction, which is awesome. So what you need to do with the turkey breakfast sausage, though, is you need to use some butter and saute it. It's not got tons of fat into it, so you need to add that extra fat. But also, while I was cooking the meat, I also cooked in the red peppers, so the butter helps to saute those too as well. And you'll see it's not very greasy or anything like that. And as far as the breakfast sausage goes for this one, I just sauteed it and left the leftover grease in there as well for flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and add this in here. Now, because I only had half of a pound of this stuff, I'm going to actually add more cheese than I normally do. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is a 1 cup measuring cup. So I'm going to use 1 cup of this. Actually, I'm going to do 1.5 cups. almost forgot my cream. I'm also going to do half a cup of cream in this one. Okay, there's just a spot left. Okay, and then I'm going to do 1/3 of a cup of the Parmesan cheese in this. The last thing I'm going to put in here, other than salt, because you know I gotta have my salt. The last thing I'm going to put in here is going to be fresh rosemary. I just got this out of my garden this morning. I chopped it up, and we're going to put that in there. It's just going to add another dimension of flavor for this. Now, I didn't add broccoli to this because I can't have broccoli. I can't have cauliflower. I can't have a lot of the really fun vegetables that everybody likes. I could add asparagus to this if I wanted to, but I decided to go with the red peppers today. I'm not a huge peppers fan, but in this kind of a thing, I think it's going to be really good. So now I'm going to go ahead and pour this into here. And I see some chunks because I didn't. All right, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to throw these in a preheated 350-degree oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. Once these are done, I'm going to go ahead and pull them out and show you what I did. All right, here we have the finished product. On the left is my quiche. On the right is the quiche for my husband and daughter. My quiche again has that turkey sausage, the red peppers, the cheeses. The one on the right is the one with the pork sausage and the provolone and the broccoli and all of that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and slice the one on the right up into 6 pie pieces, and the one on the left I'm going to cut it down the center and then into thirds. That way we get 6 servings out of each quiche. Because we are using a dozen eggs, we are going to make 6 servings. Now this is a really good easy recipe to make, and it's a really easy recipe to make for your freezer and for prep cooking for the week. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much.